So I'm Paul Seimann. I'm 35 years old. I'm from Austria, located in Vienna. I'm in telecom industry since 10 years already, working mostly in sales and marketing. And I started the executive program in January 2019 and concluded this summer, actually. So it was a great journey. I have more technical background in terms of higher school and starting in a bachelor program in Austria, and also started in IT telecom industry environment. So this is more the foundation I'm having. And then I joined a master program also in Austria for corporate governance and economics. And I switched over to the more commercial roles in telecom, I would say, which means sales and marketing. And after finishing my master degree, which was in 2012 already, I knew that I want to continue the journey because I did the bachelor and the master in Austria also beside my full-time job. So I knew how it would feel and look like to do a program or studies beside the job. And I knew when I finished my master's that I will do an MBA one day. Back in the days, of course, I didn't know that it was being SSE, but I started looking into MBA programs more in detail around 2015, more or less. I started screening programs in Europe, and I went to an open house in Stockholm and visited SSE, and this was the first touch point face-to-face with the organization, and I looked into the whole environment. And why I chose SSE in the end was like the agenda, meaning all the contents transported, delivered, and provided. The setup with the program weeks, meaning in 18 months, I am 10 full weeks physically, or now hybrid-wise, I 10 weeks occupied in this 18 months, which helped me because I did it not supported by my company. So meaning I took my vacation for it. So that worked quite good with having 5 weeks a year to 10 weeks in 2 years with this. And the third point was that it felt right. So I felt really, I felt at home in Stockholm and at SSE, and this is why I chose SSE. The SSE Stockholm place felt right because point one, I felt home because people are so open and friendly and warm-hearted, and this makes the program even special because you earn friends and you will get close to each other, and you will share tears, and you will have long nights, and you will have like busy times, but this will connect and bond you to each other even more. And point two, in the Scandinavian area for me, or in general, is like a very buzzing area, especially Stockholm in Sweden. Is like there are so many things happening, also in terms of our startup business and new businesses, new economics, and rethinkings. And within the program, there is a specialization which takes 2 full program weeks, and there is financial management or innovation and entrepreneurship. And I chose innovation because I was keen to point one, touch base also on this innovation startup hype. But locally in Stockholm, it's so many great new companies coming up and trying out businesses, even though they will not succeed. But it's just a fruitful soil where you can get to know people and try out new things. And even though I'm not in a startup because my company has like 200,000 employees, but I took some inputs from these startup mindsets. We met during the program. We met during being introduced by colleagues. So we met from the professors, the models, the theories. I took it with me, and apply it in my daily work, even though I'm in such a big company. But design thinking, for example, is also a tool I use quite regularly, and this was a speciality happening up there in Sweden, which gave me the extra push. Okay, this is the right place I want to be. I mean, the name says it already, but it needs to be highlighted that SSE is, in terms of economics, finance, accounting, they are the heroes. So they have such great talents up there in terms of professors. So it was such a great learning experience having these topics there, which sometimes sound quite, I wouldn't say boring, but corporate finance is not the fanciest course out there, but they make it just such a great course because with their professors they really turn it into something really fun, actually. And with field trips they did, let's see how they will continue, but we went to Riga, for example, where we looked at the economics in this area and visited the banks, for example, with Silicon Valley having one big field trip where we also viewed like Silicon Valley surroundings, economics and finance stuff happening, some start things happening, of course. So they combine all the theoretics and the foundations. Again, I want to highlight like economics and finance and strategy to build like your wheelhouse for you. Yeah. So more or less that where they are really capable, and having professors, they really kill it. There is a program leader which is always there for you. We can ask for anything, and of course having open door policy with all the more or less SSE stuff. Yeah, you can use the library. You can have online access to papers and statistics, and you have online forums where they can support like discussions, whatever. And no, I think it's a well-rounded package, even though it's only 10 weeks in 18 months, which sounds not a lot, but it felt a lot when you were in the program. So you feel home, yeah. And they provide such a great cohorts that you will get a closed group. I was lucky because I started January 2019, meaning 18 months ahead I should be finished. So I only had 2 sessions interrupted or taken over by COVID, meaning I had 2 hybrid sessions, which you can imagine that hybrid means you can be locally in the facility at SSE, where they track how many people would be there and strictly manage the pupils or the candidates in the room, or you are fully online participating. So I joined 1 session in 1 program week, fully online here from Austria, and I joined 1 week locally in August in Stockholm. So I had 2 sessions in a hybrid style, yeah. But with Zoom technology and great preparation from SSE and also from the candidates and the colleagues and the professors. Even though it was just online, it was a great week where a lot of content was transported. Yeah. There are different learning styles out there and types of learning, and different persons need different inputs. But in general, it's between 15 to 20 hours a week, and that's the reality. And it's because there are a lot of readings, there are a lot of preparations, there are a lot of group works. And in the beginning, you read a lot and prepare the basics more or less, and then it adds up with group works and exams, of course, where you need to have all the details and all the knowledge ready to do the exam. And this is why 20 hours a week, you need to make sure you prioritize your life the hours a week room. What SSE does is selecting, I would say, the most colorful cohort they could do. And they really do an amazing job with selecting and compiling the cohort. So my cohort was 56 people. And within this big group, we are divided into subgroups, of course. And there they managed to put in so many different characters, backgrounds, industries, ages, whatever that the group is leveraging each other more or less, and having the best results, because you push each other and get the most out of it, because there are so many different individuals in the group that it's just fruitful all the program around. Yeah, and this is I don't know how they do it, but of course you have some online testing. But also there are face-to-face interviews which take up to 2 hours, where they really dig deep into the individual and want to find out why this person is aiming for SSE, and by this they find out the right persons, I would say, the right candidates. There are so many backgrounds of industries and jobs the people are having. Like there are legal guys, there are medical guys, there are insurance guys, there are mining guys, there are pharmaceutical, school background, NGO background. So all this type of guys, where you just work on simple topics sometimes on projects, but they bring such different views and mindsets even that you reflect differently, I would say, or in another way on tasks you were given, like in your daily roles or jobs or whatever. And I took that with me to have like a different angle, different glasses I put on, like from a colleague who like comes from the energy sector, or like from schooling, where they work, of course, in another way, like we do in telecom. But this is what I can say. They put so many different characters in one group that you are able to get so much views. And we have also so-called reflection groups, where we work on topics that are out of our jobs, for example, and work with the group to solve a task. And then you have so many different inputs where you take that with you and get different results and have many other baselines to decide for future roles. Yeah. And now having the alumni network, I just recently had one case where I had a legal issue where I called up one former colleague to help me on a topic, and it was like a no-brainer for him, but for me it was like having a non-legal background. It was quite a tough challenge. So I can utilize this network for my daily job as well, even though we are not in the same country. I would say that they felt it because after every program week I returned to work, I was like full of energy and full of new ideas and also skills, and I just tried them out, or let them influence my way of work, or let them influence also the other team colleagues, and by this it's not that coming back from a full program week of corporate finance, for example. I did not come back and took over the whole finance part. I did not, but I was able to talk to the colleagues, point one, head on head, and point two, think differently on processes internally. So I was able to understand the whole setup and structure in a more detailed way. And this is what helps me now to drive business forward, but also in different perspectives. Because you have the corporate, you have the finance perspective, you have the strategic and strategy perspective, you have the economics stuff, you have the operations, internal process ideas, and all these things that add up and you have this more or less toolbox, where you work with other glasses. I have to say the word again, with different glasses you put on and view tasks differently. And point one, did they support me? So it was quite for me a special case, because I started my new role in January 2019, and I started the program in January 2019. So it's also possible to start a new job and start an executive program. It worked, but of course they didn't know me, I didn't know them, so they were not really able to support me in supporting for fees or whatever. But of course, if I needed some time off, I took the time off and prepared for the MBA class. What they immediately noticed was my energy and my request for new inputs, or I talked differently in terms of their jobs, what they're doing, because I was more into them. I was more keen to get them know in a more detailed way, because in the program you work with so many different people and get to know each other also from an industry perspective, which I never did in such a detailed way in the beginning. So I think it's one thing that I was more into details of their daily jobs because I had more knowledge, to be honest. I was able to speak with them again eye to eye. And point two, it was the energy, the sparkling eyes, the fun, and the journey I had during the past 18 months, which is difficult to describe. What you're able to prove to yourself, to commit the time, to achieve, to learn new stuff and meet new people, and all this journey that adds up so many things is difficult to describe to people around you, but they felt it, and also my fiance felt it. A person who wants to grow and want to get on a journey for 18 months to expand in every direction. I mean, I started a program and I knew I will go out or finish as an alumni as a different person, but I still cannot define what changed me, but everything changed. So you become a different person in business, but also in private. You get alumni network you can utilize in the future, but also the whole alumni network of all the other alumni you will be part in the future. So it's tough to describe, but it's not about just learning. It's also getting to know yourself better, because you learn about your capacity in terms of learning, scheduling, planning, but also how you interact with others, how you do group works, how you do project works. And then also it's just the social skills, for example. They build you into a different person, and you can act differently in your company, for example. So if you're having troubles like I can't speak in front, or I'm having difficulties with preparing projects or whatever. I mean, this is also one part of the program you will be taught automatically. Yeah? So it's so much more than just getting knowledge about some courses. The tips I would give to a candidate applying is be sure you will have the time, and you make the time you need. It's like 50 to 20 hours a week, but also like the 18 months period that you're really more or less focused, because you only get out what you put in. And like I would have said to myself, start reading more earlier, because having English not as my native language, it was quite a intense period in the beginning that I built the capacity to read and learn and articulate everything in English. So I could have started earlier with this one, even though I use English on a daily basis in my workplace. But this is again one tip I would giving. And the third one is just have fun, really enjoy the program, enjoy the trip, and be sure that you really utilize what you get there. Yeah. Because it's a once in a life journey, more or less, even though the end is just the beginning, but that's very special. Yeah, very special.